I'm in love with money. 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 I'm in love with money.
World's best gather here. XBL baseball starts now.
It's crushed to the moon, and we're tied.
He picks it up on the second, over to first in time for the double play that ends the inning.
That's gone.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Trying to repeat.
It's good!
Homeward to the pen! This game is over!
Oh!
field. Is this baby gone? A grand slam!
Champion! The AAA World Series is over on a live shot!
I can't believe my eyes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another production of the Cross-Platform Baseball League. Tonight, we are here bringing you the Season 17 preview show with rankings and hot takes and more galore. It is me, Dwayne, back in the booth, and alongside me, the entire crew, minus our man Ox, is here tonight. We've got Mystery Man, Unicorn, and Hummus first on the docket here. Mystery Man, welcome back, dude. It is great to be here with you once again. Are you hyped up for the season or what?
Yeah, I think if you're not hyped up for this one, you better get a checkout or something, because we got I think close to 50 players joining this time, and we had such a fun season last season. We were a little worried about with all the server troubles and such, but turned out to be a pretty great season. And it's amazing, all these folks that have been joining up just recently and excited. We got a double A going. We'll talk a little more about that. But yeah, very hyped.
Yeah, like you said, 50 players joining the league this season. Many returning players, tons of new ones as well from our friends in the SMNL and beyond. And it is really great to have everybody here. We're going to pass things over now to say hello to another member of our booth, God's Unicorn. Welcome back, dude. It is awesome to be here with you again. Really hyped to see you making waves already up coming into the XBL. We're going to talk more about that later, about you. But yeah, what are you hyped for tonight?
Yeah, definitely excited to play in the higher league, but like Miss said, to harp on that, so many people joined the league that were new faces. We got a lot of returning players who jumped into AA, AAA, and I think it's going to be a really good season. It should be really competitive. It's awesome to have 3 leagues running again, and there's just a lot of new stuff that we're bringing this year, so I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a great season all the way around. I'm excited to get started.
Yeah, the hype is literally palpable. It's one of the most excited I've been personally for a season in a long time. We've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, some of us here, and that's definitely saying something, across 3 different games. And speaking of history, speaking of working together and playing together across these 3 different versions of this game that we love to play, it's No Hummus as well, joining us here in the booth tonight. Legendary Hall of Fame player, league office member, friend of mine and friend of the league, and obviously the best hair that we've got going for us, so we have to have him on camera. Dude, how are you tonight?
Doing great tonight. Looking forward to our first show, and you talked about like what we're looking forward to. The hot takes. I think that's going to be our most interesting thing. The thing is, we didn't discuss our hot takes with each other, so I don't know what your guys' hot take are. You don't know what my hot take is. All we know is what league we covered. But that's going to be fun because we don't know who's going to make the hot take. Is it going to hit? Is it not? We'll see.
Yeah, there's a ton of interesting stuff that we have to go over. So many unknown quantities, unknown factors that are tying into the league this season that are going to make this so exciting to really jump into. And one of the most exciting things that a couple of us have touched on already here tonight is the fact that our AA is back for the first time in a long time. It's been multiple seasons since we have had AA in the mix, and it was season 15 last, and it's been intermittent throughout its history. So to get the interest up and running for this season, to get as many players as we've been able to get in the AA ready to play, with now the new varying ego system with the ego calculator, which is a huge new innovation from Wishbone, that's going to be an awesome thing. So the AA is back. There's tons of new players. There's tons of new talent. We want to see what everybody can do, and hopefully bring that forward into a ton of new successes and a ton more XBL history that we're going to maintain. Another cool thing that I wanted to quickly touch on before we get into our power rankings and things like that is our ELO system. The ELO system is a match rating system that Wishbone has put together, sort of in line with other matchmaking systems in other games that you may be familiar with. Matchmaking as well in Pennant Race runs off of an ELO system. And I'm going to touch a little bit on that before we get into things, so just give me a moment to pull up my document. XBL's new ELO system works similarly to other ELO systems that we may be familiar with in chess or other sports. You're going to be receiving your ELO on the website based off of 1,000 points upon playing your first game career game in a given league. These ELOs do not translate across leagues, so this is going to be singularly isolated to the league you are playing in at the time. You will gain more points for beating high ELO players and fewer points for beating low ELO players relative to your own ELO rating. So this is just an interesting way for us to continue to gauge skill, continue to gauge competition in the league. As we know, we've gone through many different iterations of building teams, meeting people, playing with different players, and it's great to have another tool to sort of rate things and keep things as tightly organized and competitive as possible. It's using your career's worth of data to essentially paint a picture of how good you are lately. So the ELO rating that you have right now also does not entirely reflect on your entire career. So if you've had a bad stretch, but you're a good player, you will find your ELO a little bit lower than you might anticipate. But yeah, each of the three leagues having their own independent ELO systems means you can kind of also look through history to see who those best players have been in those leagues. It's a really great tool that Wishbone's got for us going. But now that that's all done, and all that information is spread out for you, I'm going to go ahead and get us going into our rankings, slide things over for the team here so we can look at the AA to start things off. It is great to be back. It is great to go over another set of rankings with you all, and it's going to be me and Mystery Man taking you through this set. So without further ado, we've got Crazy Sims, Raging at 2, and Angry Gramps Sparty. There are three new players here for me.
Yeah. I've talked with Sparty quite a bit. Was helping him with his roster. I don't know too much about these three. You know, these are kind of just a random ranking here at this point. But yeah, here's three new players and a nice little logo there from Sparty.
Yeah, don't expect a ton of historics in these AA rankings, that's for sure, because we have so many new players, and we're going to expect week one to look entirely different than this preview ranking here that we've got going ahead for you. As we slide up the board, we're going to go ahead and see Kawachi Blue make their first appearance here on the board. Awesome to see one of XBL's super fans here making the effort to play in the league this season. Very, very excited to see that. Followed up by SpongeHog and the St. Louis Rockers. That's an awesome new logo. Another rookie here, first AA season at Ego 70. And then followed up by Malik Dragonborn with the Paladins. Dragonborn as well. I've seen them in scrims lately, scoring some runs, just getting their feet wet. All these three players brand new here, trying to make their name.
Yeah, we've been kind of waiting for Kawashi to come over. He's been he's been in the community pretty heavily most of last season, and we were hoping that he would get in here. So really excited to have Kawashi. Dynamite logo there from SpongeHog, who's been active in the gen, and I think Male Dragonborn. The first time I saw him, I think, was just the last few days. Seems to be active all of a sudden. So good luck to him.
Yeah, love to see all the new interest, especially in the last week. We want that to maintain and continue throughout the season, so we can continue to keep AA and AAA competitive. It's really exciting to see everybody joining up. We're going to move up the board now. We've got our first veteran making their appearance in Johnny Caliber and his Outer Wilds Travelers. Johnny had a rough time in AAA in his rookie season last season, but he's coming down to the AA. He's at Ego 75, and he's got a really good opportunity to kind of make a name for himself here in this group. Right above him there in the rankings, we've got Prestone and the Pelicans, the Louisiana Pelicans with that nice new logo there. And the Milwaukee Mercenaries and Silly Power Ranger. Power Ranger playing a ton of scrims. I've seen them on the board a lot.
Yeah, really good logos here. Love to see this. Johnny was definitely over his head last season, but was such a gamer. Finished out his season, and it was a rough one, but he knew that coming in and just played it out. And I'm sure I can't imagine he did. I had basically almost that identical record my first season. I'm sure he learned a ton. So good to see these folks.
Yeah, great to see the effort put into the logos here. Love to see a little bit of color on the board early. Obviously, as you can see, we don't have everybody's logo yet. Roster submissions still ongoing until 3 p.m. tomorrow, up to the beginning of the first game of the XBL season. Going to be really exciting opening day tomorrow. But we're going to keep moving up this board. We've got ranks 4, 5, and 6. All of these, sort of arbitrary here, like we said in the AA. We got Infinity AB and the Falcons, Bo Dangles and the South Park Cows, and Shamaronium and the Masshole Shamaronium, a player that's been around for a while, making his first appearance. Great to see Sham in the XBL. Bo Dangle, the new player who's just come over, love the logo here. And Infinity and the Falcons going to be making an appearance on Match of the Week tomorrow night in AA's first ever primetime regular season games.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know much about Infinity. Sham has been hanging around quite a while. I've seen that logo quite a while ago. Very interesting. I played Bo Dangles just yesterday. Unfortunately, we had a disconnect. Can get to the ball for sure. Has some other things to work on, but has a Dynamite logo, and it did appear to have quite a bit of potential. And is not a bad pitcher, so I would look for some possibly move up here from Bo Dangles.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see in week 1 how this entire group shakes out. I feel like if you flipped it entirely upside down, you wouldn't be surprised. Just there's so much raw potential here. Rookie. It's the rookies are outnumbering the veterans here in AA by like 3-1, so it's going to be exciting to see. Let's look at our final 3 players here in the AA that we've got in the rankings. It's Sonko and the SWAT. Speaking of veterans, he's got a AA ELO of over 1,000. He's been around for a minute. Following him up is MC Vibraphone, also making a second appearance in the AA. And now in the AA once again as well, M. Barry, aka Thunder, and the Wizards. He was a heavy hitter in his first season in the AA. Everybody here is expected to be dangerous in this league.
Yeah, this is quite a group here. You've got Sonko, who's a pure pitcher. I was actually surprised to see Sonko not in AAA. Does struggle with the bat at times, but can I think he beat me last season, one game. Vibraphone a little more balanced, can hit at times, can struggle at times, is a pretty good pitcher. And then M. Barry is just that brutal wild card that might go off with 6 home runs or something. I think has the highest upside of probably anybody in AA. It's hard to say with so many unknowns, but if M. Barry gets going, it could be a slaughterhouse, or if he kind of hits a brick wall like he did last season, some of these other guys going to pass him up.
Yeah, as we're kind of stating, M. Barry's like the biggest wild card here, and it's that 1.788 whip in his AA career that he's going to want to work on. We'll see if he's able to make that happen. Really excited for him. In this mix of players, Sonko as well really has a chance to kind of take hold of something. But again, there's so many unknown raw potential rookies in the mix that could just run away with this thing. So opening day is tomorrow. Things are going to get kicked off, and they're going to kick off fast. The AA is back, baby. We're excited. And now we can move on to the AAA. This one is going to be emceed for you by your AAA aficionados, God's Unicorn and Mystery Man. So without further ado, at the bottom of the list, we've got Albrat, Rise and Fall, and Tezzy Do It All. Unicorn, welcome back. What do you think of this group?
Yeah, huge shout out to the AA. Like y'all said, it could go any way out there, but there's definitely some guys who have dropped down who've got some veteran leadership. But when it comes to the AAA, I think it's going to be a lot like last season. Anyone that was here last season, the parity throughout the league, going into the playoffs, people were saying anyone in the bracket, and they were for real, could have won it. 1 through 12 was so even last season. And you look at Tezzy Do It All down here, I think he might be at 21 just due to the fact he didn't play last season, and maybe we're trying to get a feel for him. He could definitely jump up. Then Rise and Fall with that nice logo. I think he's got some new colors on it, but he's definitely been in the AAA for a long time. You see his record. He's a decent player. He's someone that can fight for a spot in the playoffs every season, so he's someone you got to watch out for. And if you see someone like Rise and Fall, Albrat down here at 19 and 20, you know the AAA is going to be tough. So I'm rooting for Albrat and Rise and Fall to move up these rankings in the AAA this season.
Albrat's more of a pitcher, sort of a Sonko type. It struggles at times with the bat. Can hit for power at times. He was doing really well in the middle of last season, and then kind of fell down. So I think that's why his rank is so low. Rise and Fall, just the way he's the big upset guy. Like he can beat anybody. Everybody knows that. He's not going to probably finish over 500. He could. He has the talent to do that, but he's more of a spoiler type. And then Tezzy, I think his confidence is shaken. He had some technical issues with his monitor. Hasn't played a lot. Talent-wise, 86, 85, 86 is not really that high. He seems to think it is, but it's not. I played against Tezzy a lot. So be interesting to see if Tezzy can get going. I'd love to see him get going.
Yeah, really interesting group of veterans here. We'd love to see them all get going here, but the stiff competition in AAA continues to move up the board, and we're going to look at two rookies here, and in the middle of that sandwich, we've got one of AAA's most storied players and a former AA champion in Diesel and his Wise Guys.
Yeah, a couple of rookies here. You love to see that. It's always great to see some guys come in and be able to instantly play in the AAA and XBL level ego. That's impressive. On top of the ego and just the fact it gets really difficult when you get in those upper 80s, the competition's really stiff all the way down. And I've seen Billy and Puffer Dog doing some scrims. They look like good players. We've seen rookies in previous seasons make it to the playoffs, so there are definitely some guys this season that are in that same boat. And then, like y'all said, DeSille, he's in his 7th season and he's got a AA championship. He's somebody that's always there and always fighting for a playoff spot. I believe he made it into the playoffs last year, squeaked in, but then had to face that steam train that was Dynasty, putting up 14 a game. So DeSille, somebody I definitely think will finish higher up the rankings. Puffer Dog and Billy are a lot more like the AA when it comes to new guys. It's hard to rank them, but you know, in your first season in AAA, you're going to face some struggles, but we've definitely seen guys persevere and make it to the playoffs despite that.
Yeah, Puffer Dog and Banquo, I know basically nothing about. I've paid attention that they're playing games, but I don't really know them. So I'm going to focus on D-Sil here. It's kind of it's a AAA tradition at this point to undersell the Wise Guys. It kind of bit us in the butt last season when he actually started looking pretty good. That seems to have been forgotten here, but definitely has the talent to win games. Is a very difficult. I'm sure you know Unicorn, a difficult guy to play. He does some little things that are kind of, he'll wear out your pitchers and do certain things. So, and almost wasn't going to play because of technical. So glad to have D-Sil back in here.
Yeah, really glad to see him be able to play, like I said, kind of a pillar in this league at this point, just with, his sayings, his mannerisms, his logos, his gifs, everything that he does. The man's hilarious. He's a great part of this league. So glad to see him and his switch back in action this season. Billy Wagwell and Puffer Dog, excited to see these two in the mix too. We've got those mighty Mallards. Stiff competition. Maybe one day we'll see a Mallards versus Mallards World Series if the stars ever align. We're going to slide up to 13, 14, and 15 here. We've got Fireball Max making an appearance. Fireball clearly with something to prove here at this ranking, followed by Short Steps, another rookie, and C-Mill, who was a rookie early in the offseason here in the XBL that was making a ton of noise.
Yeah, like you said, C-Mill's a new guy here, but I saw him play in the SMNL, and I've scrimmed him a couple times. I've also seen him scrim, and he's a good player. Stronger pitcher than batter, I would say, but when it comes to the AAA this year, for me, I think the pitching is going to rule all, so that's something that can take you pretty deep. We saw that last year in the playoffs. A lot of really good pitching teams made it into that final bracket, and they were able to make some noise. We saw a couple upsets of them. Short Steps is another rookie, but in the scrims that I've seen, I thought he was borderline XBL level because of the ego he was playing on and still putting up a fight against some of the best players in those scrims. So I've got pretty high aspirations for Short Steps. I definitely had him ranked higher than this, but it's always hard to rank a rookie of them. You look over there at Fireball, and you're going to see somebody that's got a long baller award along with a no-hitter, and that's a dangerous combo because obviously that means he's got both parts of the game, and he's got an interesting pitching style the way he likes to go reticle, but some games it works, and he's obviously got that middle of his order. I don't remember the name of his player. I'm sure Miss does, but he's got an absolute beast in the middle of his order that you just cannot pitch to. Anybody in this league that knows Fireball knows that. He's really dangerous at the plate, and he can get really hot. 88 and 52 record, 400 average. Definitely somebody it's not going to be fun to face for anyone in the AAA.
Yeah, the name is Roberto Ramos. He's been known to hit balls all the way up into the tunnels there at Colonial. Max is only this low. He disappointed last season. You would always put Max in the top 5. The only reason you wouldn't is what we saw. It didn't really perform. Nobody knows why. But talent-wise can certainly break into even the top 5 or 3 by season's end if he gets going. Don't know short steps, but I've just based on looking at some of the scrims rolling in, I think Uni's right. Could potentially be a blows the save type that at the end of the day is maybe even in the wrong league. It's hard to say. C-Mill, a very good pitcher. I like his approach to the game. So he when I played him, you could get the ball by him, but it seemed like he was taking good at bats and really trying to, not just throwing the bat at the ball. But I think C-Mill has a lot of upside.
Yeah, really excited to see the upside here from all of these players. Max is one of the players that had AAA Challenger written all over him the past few seasons, but it has not gone his way. Like you said, C-Mill made a ton of noise in the early offseason, and these SMNL players, I don't know what to expect out of any of them. So my fingers are crossed that everything just ends up being as competitive as possible, and we get that sweet parity juice that I love to drink. We're touching on number 10 now, and there's Mystery Man himself. And Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Making an appearance, followed up by Finite Provision and his legendary Miners. They're back for another season in the AAA, needing to find some success and make their name. And then they're followed up by Corn Sensual and the Seawolves, another rookie here, trying to make noise in the XBL AAA, and that's a pretty high ranking for a rookie.
Yeah, another rookie, another SMNL guy that I'm familiar with, and I'm sure Mist is as well, and that's why he got this ranking. The dude can bat, and that's for sure. His pitching can lack at times, but his bat is really, he's a lot like Fireball, I would say. He can get streaky and put up 10 runs on you, but he's got to lock down his pitching because he's going to face some stiffer competition coming over here, and the AAA is just full of dogs, especially when you get up to this 1 through 12 range. Finite last year made it into the playoffs. I know Finite's been here for a long time, league office guy in the Hall of Fame. He's got a good record. Anyone in the AAA with over a 500 lifetime record, I think it's really impressive after playing a season in the AAA. It's no joke. Those guys are really good. And a lot of those guys have that ego locked down because they've been in the AAA so long, just like Mist. He's going on his 7th season now. He's the real staple of the AAA. Everybody knows that when it comes to broadcasting, when it comes to team news and posting his own rankings and everything. Mist knows this league best, and that's what makes him really tough to face. I had to face him first round of the playoffs last year, and it was not very fun because I knew going in, he knew exactly what I had to offer, and he knows how to pitch against me. He knows when to take against me, and it was really tough. So Mist, his biggest advantage is going to be the fact that he just knows this league so well.
Corn Sensual is a really good player. I think he'll stick in the top half. I don't know where. I don't see this as, if he is lower half, it'll be pretty much right in the middle. He's not going to sink to the bottom. Just he's not someone you can't pitch to, but he does have a good bat and he'll do well. Finite, I think it's more just reps. I don't know how, you never see Finite scrimming or anything, so it's always hard to know what's going on with Finite. But talent-wise, could be in the top probably 3. It's just how much is he playing the game. And then myself, I had a really good season last season. I've been just really, quite frankly, bad ever since. My pitching has actually been continued to improve, but my bat fell apart. So hard to say what's going to happen with Scooby-Doo, but I'll pull it together at some point.
You'll pull it together indeed, my friend. Definitely good to see you up here in the rankings. The AAA batting average of 297 every season creeps upwards, so I'm expecting big things out of the Scooby-Doo crew this season, and expecting big things out of Corn Sensual after he was so talked up, and those Miners as well. This is a really good group we've got. Let's head up to 7, 8, and 9, where the Houston Stars are sandwiched by a couple of stiff competition pitching first type players in the Matrix Ball Club with that freshly minted logo via Solus. Awesome logo there for Spliff Star. He's, looking to make some big noise in the AAA this season. And then Burning Ice on the flip side. Burning Ice plays this game so quick. He's so unpredictable, and if you played him in scrims lately, he's tough.
Yeah, no doubt. Burning Ice joined the league whenever I did that last AAA season that we had, and I've probably played him. It's got to be at least 50 times ever since, and it's the same thing every time. He's really, really good on the mound. Won that Von Asen last year. Really, really tough to hit on. He had the lowest ERA in the league. You can see that his last year was his first year in the AAA, and he was over 500, so you're going to look to improve this year. He's definitely improved his bat, I can tell from scrimming. So Burning Ice is somebody that's going to be tough to play against because it's going to be hard to get up 1 or 2 runs even. And this whole group really is to a T what I think the AAA playoffs is going to be. It's going to be a lot of strong pitchers. Heisman, Ice, Spliff all can. Heisman last year had a really, really hot start. I believe we had him ranked in the top 3 for 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and then he kind of hit a wall halfway through the season or so and started struggling a little bit more. But Heisman's definitely somebody being ranked 8 now and being ranked in the top 3 to start last season. It's obvious that we have high aspirations for him and the Houston Stars over there. So he's someone you're going to have to watch out for. A little bit of an interesting pitching style on him, too. The way he can use his cadence made it tough for me personally against him. Then Spliff is somebody that my hot take going into the playoffs last year is that he was going to win the whole thing, and he got beat by Clutch, who really, really came into his own last season in the AAA. But Spliff Star's a really good batter, plays a lot of PR, plays a lot of scrims. He's just a good AAA player. He's just a good pitcher, just like these other 2 guys. You might be able to put up 1 or 2 runs on him, but that's about all you're going to get. So expect some low-scoring games from those guys and expect it to be really, really tough to beat them if you get into the later innings. All 3 of these guys easily can make some noise in the playoffs because a 7-game, 5-game series. You don't want to face somebody like these guys that can pitch the way they do.
Yeah, I mean, these 3 are so similar. Just they're pure pitchers. They struggle at times with the bat. Ice particularly struggles with the bat. Really relies on speed and guessing the count and things like that because it has a little bit of difficulty. But he's possibly the best pitcher even of these 3, which is really saying a lot. Heisman is that one that throws goofy arsenals at you and can just pinpoint sliders into the low corner, 10 or 15 times in a row and just drive you bananas. And then Spliff Star is also an extremely accurate pitcher, can really get that ball where he wants to get it. Can't put up the big runs, but he doesn't need more than 2 or 3 typically. So it's a strong group, and nobody wants to play any of these guys.
Yeah, that's for sure. These are all 3 players really where you're going to be having a hard time on either side of the ball, especially the pitching on those 2 on either end. They're 2 of the best pitchers in AAA. Recent history with the Von Asen and on each of their belts. We'll move on up now to Frank's 4, 5, and 6, and their Snowbird and the Black Roses getting a very, very favorable ranking here early in this season 17, followed up by Fun Size WC and the Drakes, who in their rookie AAA season last season made a lot of noise, even at 15 and 15. And then Elron Coin making a big comeback. He was with us in season 14, the season 14 AAA Rookie of the Year. Now making the comeback. Big player, good hitter, just really all around dangerous. And I think that's a pretty reasonable ranking.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a pretty reasonable place to start him. I haven't witnessed Elron's previous seasons because I joined in season 15. I wasn't aware he's even played before, but I'm not surprised that he had that great of a record in AAA because with all the scrims I've been having against him here in the preseason, me and him were having some conversations about if he should be XBL or not because he was so tough to get by. That's someone that could easily move up, and he's definitely somebody I would watch for that could win the whole league because, like you said, D-Train, he's got batting and he's got pitching. And that can kind of separate the top 4 from the rest of the playoff bracket is pulling together that other side because there's a lot of good pitchers, but not everybody in this league can bat extremely well. Then we've got Fun Size, who joined last season, and man, he was really, really tough. He made a huge name for himself off rip whenever he came in and beat Tynasty in a match of the week, and Tynasty was just an absolute gladiator last year in the AAA, so anyone that took him down looked really good doing it. Fun Size, great pitcher. He's good with his patience at the plate. He's somebody that anyone in this top 6, I mean, I could say the same thing for them. They've all legitimately got a chance to win, and I feel pretty firm saying that before a game's even being played, because all these people up here are really, really strong. And Snowbird, who I played in the AA my first season, I'm pretty sure she switched off of the Nintendo Switch, and that's going to help a lot. Don't let the record fool you. She's got a crazy bat. She'll put up a lot of runs on you. And switching over, we know, helps everybody in terms of systems. Switch is kind of I would say, the lesser of the systems that everyone in this league plays on. It can cause you some struggles, but when you have a bat like she does, you're allowed to give up some runs because you're going to put up a lot of runs of your own. A very Dynasty-esque season, I think, could come from her, but not to the extreme that he was. So I think all of these people are ranked really properly to start the season.
Yeah, I think Coin is one of those players that has a real quick bat, so that's why you would say, well, he could probably play XBL. I have no doubt that he could play XBL. I think he has some other weaknesses at the plate. But you could say that about almost anybody. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in AAA. You would already be up there with the big boys. But certainly a really good player. And when you look at 24 and 10, that pretty much speaks for itself, even if there's been a layoff. I think he was playing on 90 and up one season after, I think the season after that AAA run. Fun size, just a good player, a real good player. I think he's much similar to the last slide we saw with those three, except I think Fun Size has a slightly better bat and therefore can take down someone like Dynasty, where these other guys, you know, it's not like you're going to hold tight to 2 runs. You know? So, yeah, Drake's going to be tough. And then I played Snowbird the other day for the first time since she kind of came back in here. So wonderful to have her back in the mix. And yeah, I think it was the first inning. Alessandra Happenstance teed off on a ball that was a good pitch and for a big 2-run homer. And I thought, oh no, this might get ugly fast. Luckily, I was able to kind of really pitch my ass off, and I think I still lost 5-3 or something, but I held her down to an extent, which I was happy with. But yeah, I mean, she's ranked probably where she should, certainly in the top 10, no doubt. I think we're still kind of in awe of where is she really now that she's off of the Switch.
They're going to be very interesting to see where 2 players with very different backgrounds coming into the season, but different, sort of similar storylines as well. And Snowbird and Elron Coin sort of end up, and then you got Fun Size in the middle on a sophomore campaign, where there's usually all eyes on you to see if you're going to shake up to last season's successes. Now we're at AAA's top 3 to start off season 17, and there's Ricks standing tall. The Cerezas made a big run in the playoffs last season. They're followed up by This Is Eduardo. That was Ricks' counterpart in the semifinals. Ricks got past Eduardo in that semi to get to the World Series, to eventually lose to Zlatanimal, who's moved up now onto bigger and more dangerous things in the XBL. And now you've got No Swat behind them, coming in at rank number 3. No Swat in his second AAA season. You know, he only finished 4 games above 500 last season, but he's looking very, very much the improved player here, and the ranking shows favorably.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you look at this top 3, it's dangerous. I'd say for any new guys in the AAA, you're going to want to go back and watch previous VODs. You're going to want to listen to what we tell you on some small tips that we're given right here in the power rankings, because if you face any of these 3 people right here, you're probably going to be in trouble. They're the top dogs in the league. I would say 1, 2, 3 makes sense for them. All 3 of them are borderline getting moved up to the XBL or staying down in the AAA. I believe they all 3 went through each other in the playoffs. Like you said, Ricks definitely beat Eddie in the semifinals, I believe. Eduardo beat Nos the round before that. So these are 3 guys that made it past the first round last season, have good records. Noswad's got a great bat, but he's also a great pitcher, and same with anyone in the top 3. You can do both really well, but Nos especially can bat a little bit better than these 2 in front of him, I think. Eddie's someone that he's been in the AAA for so long. He's come so close. Even since I've gotten here, I've seen him be the runner-up, and then I saw him last year in the semifinals. Someone that's really, really hard to face. He's going to get bloopers on you that frustrate you. He's going to pitch extremely well and usually has a beast in the bullpen that he likes to run into the dirt. And he'll run him till 0-0-0 on its stats if you're not able to hit it. So Eddie's a really tough player. Then Ricks, yeah, he was the season 16 runner-up. He played against Zlat, pushed him to 7 games after we saw Ricks walk off Eddie in the semifinals, and really what was one of the most epic series the XBL has had. That was unbelievable. He came back on Zlat and pushed it to 7 games in the championship. He's got everything that you're looking for and somebody that can win it all. He's both Eddie and Ricks. They've made it all the way to the end in the AAA, just did not get the championship, but the way Ricks finished the season last year in the AAA, went on an incredible hot streak the last week or two. It really seemed like he figured out that ego, and his pitching style is so bizarre and tough to hit with the weird arsenal, and just the way he'll make you watch 3 balls in a row before he'll give you 1 strike. And he's just able to hit really well with his contact swing. He's got a fast bat. So all 3 of these guys, I mean, they would be, I couldn't pick one, but I would definitely agree that one of these 3 is going to be the favorite to win it for the first few weeks, unless anyone steps up and makes a big name out of the rookies.
Yeah, this was actually my top 3. I was tempted to put No Swad number 1, only because I do believe his bat is a much higher potential than these other 2. But these other 2 are just so gritty. I mean, we saw Ricks constantly getting out of, multiple runners on base there late in the playoffs when the pressure is just absolutely insane. And then Eddie's that type of player also that can pitch you into the dirt with change-ups on the last pixel again and again. So, this is a great top 3, and let's see what happens.
I'm really, really excited to see, like you said, the potential in this group here. Yeah, No Swad is untapped potential. We saw that in his AA season, and it's kind of been budding from there. But this is the first time, I think, in XBL history and in AAA history, you can correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone's got better info on it than I do, that there's 2 runners up staring down the barrel right here as well in the league, waiting to try and possibly get their chance to win it in Ricks and Eduardo. So you got 2 runners up fighting for a possible title. You've got other players that have been deep in that playoff race, and it seems like the AAA parity is going to be just as good as ever. So we're going to be really excited for how the AAA campaign shakes out. But we're not done yet. We're back now with our 3rd league of the night. Now that AA is back, we get to do all 3, and that means Hummus is joining me for our XBL preview. Hummus, welcome back. We get to look right here at our good friend, our storied friend, our base running, speedy friend, No Name. Right
No
here
Name,
on the bottom.
Number 19. That's an interesting take. No Name, like we've talked about this, but No Name, he's one of those players where you could stack him at like any ego, and it's gonna end up the same way. Like you could drop him into AAA, he could probably have like a similar record. You drop into XBL, he'll have a similar record. His play style is just run. Wait, one more time, run. And yeah, he's gonna run you out the stadium if you're not careful. And a number 19, I don't know. I think he's definitely gonna see him rise up a little here. I think definitely he'll be able to sneak off some wins from some up and coming AAA players and maybe some rookies who aren't familiar with his play style. But we'll see. When it's No Name, he can if you're not careful, he can knock you out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's going to be where No Name makes his money. I mean, it's kind of a meme to have him here right at the bottom of the list. Some people might love it, some people might hate it. At the same time, he's an anomaly of a player. He'll finish anywhere from 5th to 10th in whatever league you put him in. It's kind of just an insane thing. And like he's gonna really come up against some players that are not expecting him this season. He's gonna surprise them, and yeah, he's not gonna shake out here at 19th when it comes down to it. He has an XBL ELO right there of 730, which isn't high, but it's not exactly low. And at 46 and 112 in his career, he's got wins under his belt, and he likes to play amongst the best competition. So, he rises to the occasion quite a bit.
Certainly.
Let's slide up to rank 16, 17, and 18. We've got the AAA champion in Zlatanimal and his Habaneros here at 16, followed up by the come up in Mr. Clutch and the Mythosaurs. This is a big XBL come up here. Mr. Clutch taking the optional call up here for the XBL, and he's followed up by Dynasty and then Tyrannix, who ran AAA last season and did everything but win it. He won that Longbolo award with a 397 batting average. He was the most intimidating hitter that the league had to offer. But this is a really interesting crew here, especially considering where they're at, seeing them this low. I think Zlatanimal may be kind of hindered by his former XBL history a little bit.
Yeah, we start with Zlatanimal. He won the AAA last season after coming, I believe he was in XBL the season prior. He came down to AAA, he won. Now he's coming back up to XBL, maybe with that championship confidence. Maybe now he can have a better time around going into XBL here. And then Mr. Clutch, this is going to be his first XBL season. We see here in AAA, he was 26-12. Solid stats, but in XBL, especially when you're coming out from AAA, it's always going to be a tough adjustment. So, I think this is about where I expect to rank him for now. And then Dynasty, look at that, 32-8. He won the long ball last season. I think most people expected him to win it last season before Zlatanimal, I believe, swept him. But because of the offensive production, he was called up, and now we're gonna see, can he maintain that the offensive output now that he's gonna be up now on 92 ego.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what type of output all three of these players are able to maintain. I'll start with Dynasty here. If you look at that 32-8 AAA last season, and then look at his AAA historic, he's only played 2 seasons with us, so that was his sophomore campaign. He's got a 39-41 career AAA record. He got 32 of his 39 wins last season in the AAA, so definitely a well-deserved call-up. We're going to see him featured on Match of the Week tomorrow night. It's going to be really, really exciting. Mr. Clutch has a huge resume. Look at that. You almost have to shrink it a little bit to kind of get everything in there. He's first XBL season 15 AA runner-up, season 16 AAA Rookie of the Year. One of 2 first AA starters to advance to the XBL. So that's absolutely huge. I mean, we've been trying for a long time to continue to develop and cultivate players down there. For a long time. It's been intermittent in its history, as I said at the beginning of the stream, and it's good to see players that have started out, just wanting to get their feet wet, come up to the highest competition that, we've basically got to offer here. And then Zlat, I think, kind of just undeservedly, maybe a little low, but hit by his history a little bit here. 18-48 career XBL record. He played 2 seasons in the XBL before going down to the AAA and winning. So kindred spirit here for me and Zlat. I can definitely relate. Really similar players, I think, here, kind of interchangeable probably in ranking and stature. So we'll see how he does. I'm really looking forward to playing him and the rest of this group here, because they're not going to be easy games. It's going to be a lot of fun. Move up now to ranks 13, 14, and 15. And we've got our first pair of rookies here making an appearance in the rankings. We got Teflon Don Lemon, who's going to be going up against Dynasty tomorrow night. Big name from the SMNL coming over. Spaceman Spumoni, who's played a ton of scrims and deservedly has made his place in the XBL. He was one of the first choices here we made for the XBL, and he's followed up by God's Unicorn. Unicorn was on the fence for a minute, but Uni, welcome to the XBL. Here he stands.
Yeah, we start at number 13, Teflon. I haven't been able to play him much, but we see there he's a rookie. You say he came in from SMNL, so he already has a competitive experience, and he's gonna be coming here to XBL, try to make a run here. Definitely try to push those last few seeds we see there in the playoffs. Next we have Spaceman, another rookie. He's, like you said, playing a lot of scrims. I think he's definitely someone you gotta watch out for, especially someone who just seems to always be improving. You never know with someone like that how they could improve over the season. Maybe the first few weeks is tough, they get a bunch of losses, but then as they get going, the mid to late season, they become someone you really don't want to face there at the end of the season. And then of course last year Unicorn, I don't think many people at the end of AAA expect the Unicorn to come up to XBL, but he's been practicing in XBL. He had some strong results showing that he can perform at the ego. So he was invited to be called up here. We see that he was the double A champion, and it's gonna be interesting. Not many people really volunteer to be stepped into XBL, but he wanted the challenge, so he got himself right up to the ego to be ready for it, and he's come out and now he's ready to show out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you've been here since Unicorns joined the league, he's been super involved. Just a straight dog, in the chat, as they say. He really wants to play at the highest competition that the game has to offer. He's made his way there. He's elbowed his way into the door, and I think it's time for him to show his stuff, and he'll probably be here to stay. So it's going to be very exciting to see where he ranks from here. Could probably see him rising up a few spots. Spaceman Spumoni too. Like I said, dangerous guy, dangerous cat, scrim record, looking hot. So rank 14, just a rookie ranking for him right now. And then I'm also afraid of Teflon Don Lemon a little bit here. The logo's intimidating, the name's intimidating, just the presence that came along with Teflon Don. I felt like this is a player we gotta, he's gonna make some waves here. We gotta watch out for him. And he's gonna make his appearance tomorrow night on primetime. We're gonna see what he's all about. So this is really exciting, this group. We're not even halfway really kind of through yet. Let's keep sliding up. We've got 10, 11, and 12. And wow, there's two people that can pitch and one that can't. That's me, kinda. I'd like to think that I can, but my best work has been done in some of my oldest seasons. And you're looking at the Rhubarbs and Vegan Vibes, who's gone all in on the pitching if you looked at that roster. And then Dark Raider, who is known for his unorthodox pitching strategy. He's still invested heavily in that bullpen. So this is, like I said, an arm-heavy group.
Yeah, Vegan Vibes, I got shell-shocked by him during the cup. That 1-2 punch in that best of 3 was just crazy to have to deal with, like 90 velo pretty much the entire 18-inning affair. That was not a fun experience. Having to face Vegan, we all know his eye. I got to bear witness to it on Match of the Week. That eye he has the best eye in the league, and that's what like hands down. Like, he may not be the best hitter, but when it comes to watching the ball, determining if it's a strike or a ball, he is very hard to catch swinging or looking if it's a ball. We go to Raider here. He went 13-21 last season, coming in here now ranked number 11. He's definitely another strong player. His pitching is going to carry him. If he's going to make a top run here, that's what's going to carry him forward. And then finally, you, Dwayne, you had that rough 5-win season last season, but we've spoken a little. You're feeling pumped this season. You've worked out some kinks, and I think we can see a potential comeback player of the year award for you here, or most improved. Getting you back into form.
Oh well, I appreciate the kind words. I'm not gonna lie, folks. I did a little bit of stepping away in the off season, and I thought it did me some good. I played a little bit of MLB The Show, a little, and I got my eye in, and I came back, and I felt better, and I feel good, and I think 5 wins is chump change. So yeah, we're gonna keep moving up the board this season. But then I'm underneath my man Raider here. I think this is about as tight as you can make a ranking between me and him. It's interchangeable if you ask me right now, and it's all going to come down to really big matchups between myself and the players around me here that are going to make these rankings turn into standings, right? Vegan, right now, I think a little bit underrated. Vegan's got top 8 potential at least, but it's going to be about how that pitching executes.
If he can get
no
those
there in the stats.
Yeah. Yeah, like we already spoke, like the pitching. I think he probably is, like, when it comes to like stat wise, he probably is the best rotation and bullpen in the league, like hands down.
Yeah, Vegan also one of the unorthodox types that will definitely throw you off, and the eye as well. Some say there's not an eye that's been seen as good as Vegan since the likes of Ashnot's Coupon, so take that into account as well into every matchup that you have against Vegan Vibes.
One last thing, I think we forget, I think at one point we were on a record watch, for most walks in a season with him, because I think he was on pace to match Astronaut's walk record, but he didn't. I don't think he ended up passing it. But maybe this is the season where he steps up, and maybe he gets even more walks. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see indeed. And a little bit of love has been shown to that Heartfang logo. You got Dark Raider with that new switched up Montreal Heartfang. We'd love to see that, and we'd love to see the improvement from Raider every single season. This season, I think it's going to be no different. This might be the season where he finally breaks through and really kind of cracks the mold of the player that he was and into the player that he could be. So love this group. Love to be a part of this group, and I'm excited to see who's up here above us. So let's go up to 7, 8, and 9. Wow, look at this 3. We've got No Hummus and his Stags, deservedly so. Historic XBL player, made a really good name for yourself last year, making a strong comeback. Followed up by Ox and his holograms, took the hiatus, well-deserved, well-used, decides to come back. Look at that resume, AA champion, AAA Von Asen. The dude can work. He's well-deserved here at rank number 8. Followed up by Mush and the Curse. This is a high ranking for Mush. He's 11 and 23 in the XBL. But you know what? Mush can ball. This is the guy I beat in the AAA World Series, and hit our matches in the XBL and on these egos. He's definitely got some type of edge.
Yeah, we start there with Mush. Last season was his first XBL season, 11-23. Not the best, but that was his first season. Now that he's had a full season under his belt, now maybe the second season he can go get it done and make a possible push for the playoffs here. And then we have Ox. Ox, I think many people were expecting him not to come back, but he signed up a little last minute. Kind of sort of like myself. And he's going to be looking for a playoff success here. He's been looking for it the past few seasons, has came up short in the wildcard round. Maybe now, I believe 4th time now, he'll try to go and get that wildcard win and then go on to the quarterfinals. And me, same here. I had decent success. 15-19. I think now for me, I think it's time we gotta step up our game here. We gotta try to get a positive record now, sitting at number 7. With those preseason expectations. So hard to speak on myself. So Dwayne, do you have anything else to add?
Hey man, I'm looking at your record right now, and a good season, 24 win season from you gets you over the. Gets you, or no, I'm not sorry, but you'd have to win more than that. But you're inching closer to 500. All I'm saying is your XBL record really tight. You're a historic player. You got a perfect game under your belt. There's no reason why you shouldn't be looking higher than 7th place this season, especially with this group that we've got shaking up above and below you. Going to be really surprising here to see who can even be above you here. We've already gone through so many storied and historic XBL names, a couple of rookies as well. But we're going to see now Flash and Spluto with the Bombs and Bennings coming in at rank number 6. I'm very surprised here to see this grouping.
All right, so we'll just start at number 6. M. Benning, we actually in this little grouping here, we have 2 of the previous cup winners here. We see M. Bennings, he won this past cup, and then Spluto won the previous season's cup. And Benning, he's someone I think a lot of people really underestimate. I've had my fair share of games with him across different leagues. He is someone who I think he doesn't have a whole lot of strengths, but he really doesn't have a really real weakness to his game. That's a strength in and of itself. Like if you're being sloppy on the mound, he's gonna punish you. But I definitely can see, he knocked off Ted Danson in the postseason at the number 10 spot, I believe, or either 9 or 10 spot. Yeah, knocked him off there. We see Spluto, he went to the conference finals. He lost to Luke, but now that Luke is gone, can he make it to the the World Series now? And finally, we got Flash here. 12th XBL season. Had a strong showing last season, 26-8. I think for the new players, this is the first time they got to see Flash, actually the prime. We OGs, we know him as. We see there, look at that, 210 and 134. I think he has either first or second place for most wins in the XBL all time. We see the 4-time champion, 4-time long baller, and watch out for Flash this season. He lost to Lazy in the postseason. Now he's going to be revving up and try to get over that hump and try to claim that 5th title.
Yeah, 5th title now on the board for both Lazy and Flash this season, so watch out for that. The resume here for Flash always ever growing. Like I said, 4-time champion, 4-time long bolo. Just really dangerous here. Deserved rank in the mix that he's got going on here. You really want to see how his first few games going to shake out till you want to rank him a little bit higher. Spluto deserved here, ranked at number 5. The dude couldn't really get past rank number 6 for most of his career, but well deserved here at rank number 5. I think in this grouping he really stands out. Got a really sick new logo too, I think courtesy of Solus. That looks awesome.
That's an amazing logo right there.
Yeah, really great job there.
If I was just glancing at it, I think it came straight out of like a game or something. Like I know like it was based around it, but it feels like it was actually like made for like an actual game, not just like a logo.
Yeah, the rebrand on point here for Spluto. We really love to see it. So good on him. Really looking forward to seeing what the Bob-ombs can do. The unorthodox player, his pitching's got no accuracy, but he can put it where he wants it. He's got a game plan at hand, and he knows how to respond to situations each and every time. So it's going to be a really exciting player to follow in Spluto. And then M. Bennings in the dog pound winning that cup. He came out swinging, and he looked really, really good in that cup. So the dog pound with that new and improved logo, we love to see it. Cute little dog. I think he's going to do a really good job this season. This is a high ranking for him, but I don't think undeserved in any way.
Definitely.
We'll slide up now to ranks 1, 2, and 3. There's only 3 players left, and if you've been following along, you're going to know who these final 3 players are. It's Lazy at rank number 1, followed by the spreadsheet wizard himself, Wishbone, getting a favorable rank number 2, and then Mama Junjun and the Civilization. Everybody thinks Mama is going to take this season by storm. It looks to be so. He's poised and ready.
Yeah, we see Mama went 21-13. This is going to be his 4th XBL season. He won Rookie of the Year back in season 14. Yeah, season 14. He's been a strong player. He has the pitching. He has the bats to do it. I think one thing is he really needs some more postseason success here. Last season he got knocked out by Flash, I believe. Now he's sitting here top 3. Now the pressure is on him to make the World Series. And Wishbone here, number 2. Another player here he's risen up. He had his going in AAA. He's made his way up to the XBL, and now he's sitting at number 2 in the XBL in here. One of a few other players who have a perfect game. Another thing, like sky's the limit here for Wishbone. If he can really lock in and play to his full potential here, don't be surprised if he ends up being the one holding up the trophy at the end of the season. And then last but not least, we see who else but Lazy. Look at that. He went 31-3. He just stormed his way through the postseason. We see here the Hall of Famer, 8th XBL season. Look at his record. Only 15 losses. One of those of mine. I have to remind people of that for as long as I live. But anyway, like 470 like batting average, over 2,000 ELO. I think he has the highest ELO in XBL. And honestly, I talk about Wishbone, but Lazy, it's very hard to imagine someone being able to go toe-to-toe with him in a 7-game series. We don't to go toe-to-toe with Lazy. You need a lot of luck. You need a lot of things to go your way. He's just gonna beat you over the head with his bat, and with decent pitching to boot.
Definitely more than decent pitching. Lazy's up there a lot of the time in the pitching numbers. The only thing that ever hurts Lazy with his pitching numbers is his inability to play more than the regulation amount of innings because he mercies so often. But this is the type of season where I don't think it's out of the question where he loses. We've seen it happen many times. I mean, he's got multiple XBL titles. As you can see there, it says 4-time XBL champion.
Yep.
Get into that in a second. But he's got what it takes, but there's a group here, and they're the two players, and the one that follows them at number 4, Flash, follow him. All three of them have a shot here, I think, to beat him this season. Every season, you have to go in there with a fresh mindset, thinking you're going to be the best. You're going to go out there and win that thing. And I think Mama Jujun thinks that right now. Wishbone thinks that right now. Flash thinks that right now. Lazy always thinks that. So they're going to go out there and they're going to dogfight. And it's going to be an insane, just pile up at the end of things. And whoever comes out beat, battered, bloodied at the end with a title is going to be the most deserving and well-deserving. And Wishbone's more than capable. Mama's more than capable. Flash is more than capable. They all have what it takes. You got to get these guys in the 7-game mix. You're not going to be able to tell out of 2 games. That's all I'm trying to say for you right now. But yeah, well deserved. Okay.
There's another note here. We talk about that 209-15. Here's a random question: are there more unique people who've defeated Lazy, or are there more unique people who've won World Series here in the XBL?
That is a fantastic trivia question. Hopefully chat can get to work on that, figure it out for us. Because 15 losses to Lazy, I know. I beat him once in the playoffs. That doesn't count. So.
Well, that might count as the record. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if this is only
amazing.
The regular season record or postseason record included.
But either way, folks, that takes us to the end of our XBL, AAA, AA preseason rankings. Now further into the portion of the show, we do have a bit of congratulations in order. If some of you have been following along and you know your XBL history, I know a lot of you are new here tonight and you don't. Well, if you didn't know before, Lazy was formerly a 3-time XBL champion. Something happened with the Season 16 World Series between Lazy and Luke Archer where they were unable to play the World Series for an extended period of time due to Luke's hardware failing. And in the recent week, just before signups closed the other day, Luke was able to get things together and they were able to play a World Series behind the scenes for us that I'm going to go ahead and get uploaded to the YouTube, possibly Twitch as well, if you're so interested in watching. But now that we're moving on to Season 17, the Season 16 World Series being wrapped is just something that we wanted done and was important to put a bow on. And with that being said, those games were played. Luke and Lazy went at it. It was a 4-game set. And at the end of it, we're going to congratulate Lazy for going ahead, winning, and earning the Season 16 World Series title. So everybody, get your little hands together. Lazy's the 4-time, as you saw on his ranking, a 4-time XBL champion. Him and Flash are tied this season. They will be fighting to be the first ever player to possibly get to 5 titles. The games were played. Lazy won them fair and square. Thank both those players for getting them in here, especially before opening day. It was super important for us to be able to put a bow on Season 16, and we were glad we were able to get it done. Anybody want to take it away? Let's hear from Mist.
All right. I think I had my mic off there.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's always great to see a wonderful player like Lazy, a real gentleman. You could have somebody doing what he's done, just being hated, but he's such a good guy, and you love to see the success from the Black Jackals. And then, just going back to this field in the XBL, there's so many wonderful players. You got, obviously, Flash. Spluto didn't really get his dues here. I think Spluto could be right in here with Flash and this crew here as people that could win this whole thing, has a cup under his belt. And then, Oxbox, a really good player, has, won all kinds of things. And then some of those guys down lower, Spaceman and them. This is going to be a great season, and I think this is a much more, in theory, even field in the XBL, because even people like Mr. Clutch, for example, these people are dangerous. It's going to be M. Bennings. It's going to be crazy.
Anyone else want to weigh in on the World Series?
I mean, I'll just say shout out to Lazy. Of course, you look at a record like that and you that he's put on there. Now he's up there with Flash as one of the winningest. They're neck and neck. Who's going to have an opportunity to become the winningest World Series champion in XBL history? So that's some exciting stuff. And I agree with Miss that I think the field is really, really even XBL-wise. With the amount of people moving up, they're all going to fight with, I say, 10 through 19 is really even for sure. I think any of those guys that moved up from AAA have a chance to get some wins under their belt, and hopefully we see one or two of us make it into the playoffs. That'd be really cool to see. But as always, Lazy's just an absolute dog, a gladiator. He's been running the league for a few seasons now, and you can feel however you want about it, but if you're in the XBL, you just kind of have to accept the fact if you're going to win, you got to go through Lazy. It's almost guaranteed. If you're going to win, you have to go through Lazy at some point. So I really hope to see it this year, and I think that, like y'all said, Wishbone, Mama June, Flash, Pseudo, those would be my picks of someone that could upset Lazy. As impossible as it seems, I really hope we see it this year, and I hope we see some really, really good parity like we have been in the AAA. It's going to be a really fun season regardless who wins, but everyone's chasing Lazy for sure.
Yeah, no, I think something that's really being lost right now in the shuffle is that the fact that we're dropping down to 92 ego. So I guess the question here is, will this benefit Lazy more, or will it benefit everyone else around him more? That, I think, will be a pressing question that's going to be answered this season. We'll see if maybe, we saw the conference finals last season. Flash, if he had a couple things go right for him, the series could have easily been 2-2. He got swept because just some things didn't go his way. But who's to say that Flash can't get the job done this time around? Now that he's had a full season, to prepare and get ready for that inevitable matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight, like I said, in the rankings to see how this whole thing shakes out. But like we said before, well-deserved to Lazy. 4 titles is almost something that, a lot of us can't even really contemplate. But this man comes in like it's light work, like it's his morning coffee, and he comes in, he slurps down mercies, and he feeds off it, and he continues to set records. And he's out here to do it again. He's out here to be the greatest of all time. He wants 5 titles. Let's see if he gets it. He's going up against the best the league has to offer. Every season we get you the best Super Mega Baseball 4 has to offer. We're not going to do anything different this season, baby. We're doing it all again. So let's take it on over to the hottest of all places, the Hot Take Station.
Ooh.
And we'll go ahead and go back around the round table one more time and talk about some stuff that we think is going to happen this season, some totally off-the-cuff stuff. We'll go in the order of Uni, Hummus, Mist, and then we'll go with myself to cap things off. So, Uni, what do you got?
Yeah, it took a lot of thinking for me to get a hot take this season because there's so many new names, and I want the AAA because even though I'm in the XBL now, I feel the AAA is the most fun league because of the parity and the fact that there's not really a clear-cut top 4 or 5. And everyone knows that the egos have changed a little bit league-wide, XBL, AAA, and then obviously the intro of AA. And last season, we saw pretty good run totals in the AAA. There was some good bats in the field, but I've spoke on a couple of times in the rankings that there's so many great pitchers in AAA this year, and there's not as many insane batters. There's plenty of good bats, but the pitching, I think, is just... There's some XBL level guys in there 1 through 10. So my hot take would be, I think that the ERA or the runs against per 9 for the AAA league-wide average is going to be 4. I think that there's not going to be a whole lot of runs to come by easily in the AAA. I think last year it was somewhere up 5 or 6, so 1 or 2 run drop-off per game is a pretty big deal. So I'm going to say a 4 or less ERA for the AAA this year, and we're going to see some real pitching duels from the regular season and in the playoffs.
All right, you need bold call. Yeah, an RA of 9 less than 4 in the AAA. I think with the stiff competition, that's definitely more than possible. But you're coming down from a very high offensive season, like you said. All right, now, Hummus, what do you think?
All right, you know, we all heard my hot take last season. Last season, I think I probably had one of the more scorching takes. It was with Raider making it to semifinals. That obviously didn't hit. Now we're doing one for AA. I don't know if this one's as crazy of a hot take, but I think it's going to be a hot take. I think that the winner of AA is going to go into the round robin with a losing record. Now, my thinking for here is that this is the first time since season 1 that we're going into a season where there's like variable ego, you know, like ego changing throughout the season. My thinking is that there's gonna be someone who's, you know, wasn't really able to find their groove, but they're gonna start going through it towards the end of the season. Their ego's not gonna really catch up as much, but you know they're gonna hit postseason. Someone's gonna lock in, and you know they're gonna, and because you know the AA ego is gonna lock in once it's playoff time. It's just gonna be a, you know, they're gonna run right through and you know win the championship.
No, it's definitely believable. The AA is one of the most unpredictable, just scenarios a player can really be in, especially now with the varying egos. It's going to be a complete crapshoot when it comes down to the business end of things. You know, the egos will show and the records will show, but that does not mean a player on their best day can't come out and just give you the work. AA is going to be the place for that this season. So keep your eyes on the AA for some high scoring, exciting baseball games, especially into the playoffs or round robin, however we're going to end up working that in the end of things, you know, with the final player count.
And just one more thing I'd like to add here, you know, with the ego, you know, we gotta remember this is a difference. I believe the ego is what, 60 to 80, 82, something like that. That's a wide range to be working with in terms of ego and skill play. You know, how someone plays at like in the 60 range is gonna be completely different to how someone plays in the 80s. So you know, I think that's something else to consider here.
Absolutely, that is a huge consideration. We are talking about setting the egos for the AA playoffs as well. If chat is wondering about that, but yeah, that's going to be something to keep a very, very close eye on. So yeah, very thankful for Hummus for coming up with a nice AA take there. Uni with a good AAA take. Now we'll move on to Mystery Man. What do you got for this season for us, Mystery Man?
Well, I'm just going to blurt it out. God's Unicorn finishes his season at least 2 games above 500.
Okay, at least 2 games to 500. Unicorn, do you have any response to this? Or do you need this pat on the back?
I don't know if I need the pat on the back. Everybody knows I'm probably the cockiest guy in the league, but I sure hope that you're right, Miss. And I know that we've had so many games in AAA together. I don't know if you're nice. We've got probably 50 more games this season we're going to cast together, so we got to stay on good terms. So I definitely accept the take. I hope it's right. It's the hottest one yet. I'll say that for sure.
That is a hot one. I mean, you know, it's good. It's a good vote of confidence for Unicorn going into his first XBL season too. From his broadcasting partner Mist. Those two have called a ton of games together, and the AAA, you know, wouldn't be finished without them last season. So those two, much appreciated for getting that work in always. Now we're on to me. An XBL hot take for you guys. Now, XBL is an interesting group this season. From top to bottom, I think it's wholly competitive. You know, you have Lazy at the top end there. That's going to make things a bit difficult. But it's more about the group as a whole, right? I'm thinking more about the parity of the group as a whole, kind of below the top 4. And I'm going to go ahead and say 2 XBL rookies finish in the top 8 this season.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey,
When we-
shout
when
out
we-
AAA. I'm loving it.
When we say rookies, I mean just people first time in XBL. Or are we talking about true first season ever rookie?
Both.
Both.
Okay,
It could be
okay, so both.
Dynasty,
Nice.
it could be Teflon Don, it could be anybody. Yeah. it could be
Okay.
anybody. It could be Spaceman Spumoni. There's a good amount of. We haven't had this high amount of rookies in the XBL in a long time. So I'm very, very excited to see how they all shake up in the mix as a whole. So yeah, that's my hot take.
Yeah, I'll add on to that, Dwayne. I think that's a good hot take because, like you said, you got all those new faces, including myself in there. Then you've got some guys like you and Vegan who didn't have super high win totals last year. I think there's just a lot of people down in the bottom 10 range that, you know, they might be able to still sweep stuff of each other, and that's going to bolster that record and get them into a spot like
Right.
the top 8. So I think that's a really good
Yeah.
take because of that fight.
That's exactly it. I think that's the huge thing with the parity of the league towards the bottom is there's going to be a lot of fights and a lot of sweeps in games where it can go either way. I'm going to add a second hot take just off the record and on the record and out loud for all of you to hear because I'm cocky too sometimes, and I'm going to top my season win total last season in the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
I promise.
Hey, you're not going to add to it on Match of the Week versus me, though, buddy.
I might not, but we'll see. I'm gonna
Ready
add
here,
at least,
folks.
I'll
First,
add
folks,
two. I'll add two.
Dwayne's
not
gonna
three.
have 6 wins by. Let's see, he's gonna get them by the 20th.
Next September.
You gonna call that with me, Hummus?
Yeah, that's primetime television right there. Like I ain't gonna miss that. Yeah, I'm gonna arrange my entire schedule around that matchup.
Man,
I'm
I'll be throwing plenty of shade in the chat. I love Dwayne, but I'm gonna be talking so much smack that week.
We'll have mics on. We'll have both players in game chat. We'll go live like that.
Speaking of primetime games, now that we're done with our hot takes.
Wait.
Oh,
Before I think Ox had a hot take he
you're
wanted
right. I'm
us to
sorry.
share.
Is
So
Oxy.
yep,
Let's get that
Ox. Yep, Ox's AAA take. He has a prediction for our AAA champion, and his prediction is Snowbird. Snowbird coming off a very strong off season. He has high expectations for her, and he expects her to go through the AAA playoffs and come away with her first title here.
Wow.
I mean, Snow's been looking good in the scrims. This might be an ice cold take from Ox. We'll see.
If he's
Snow obviously not
right,
gonna take the
I think
flowers
that's
early.
going to be a long ballo too.
For sure. They're gonna come hand in hand.
We're throwing a long ball into the hot takes with all the pressure. Hot
So wait,
pressure.
Snowbird sweeps all 4 AAA awards, you're saying? Von Asen, Long Ballo, Most Improved.
Not Von Asen, the other ones.
Okay. I was just saying all of them. I don't
Rookie of the year,
I didn't
comeback
know
player
how
of the
hot we were
year.
trying to get this take. I
Von
didn't know how
Asen.
hot we were trying to get the take.
She can't be the rookie either. We'll just give her 2 of them.
all right.
Just chuck all the awards,
Well, speaking of exciting things, I was going to move us on now to just recapping that we've got opening day coming up tomorrow. This is kind of the tail end of the show here. We're going to go over now Eduardo versus Alvaron Coin for a matinee at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be casted by Mystery Man and Unicorn AAA aficionados. Really exciting set there. You guys got anything on that one?
I mean, yeah, me and Miss probably casted somewhere around 50 games by the end of it last year in the AAA and really got a good grasp of everyone in that league. I thought we had some good games, especially in the playoff. That Rick's and Eddie's series and then that Zlat and Rick series was just a perfect way to end the AAA to show exactly how fair it was and how even it was throughout the board. So I'm really excited. I'm trying to put out as many games as willing, now that I'm done with college, I thought we put out a lot of games last year. Might even double it up this year. There's going to be a lot of AAA shine, and you're going to see a lot of mist tonight. So I'm really excited to get those games underway. I love the broadcasting aspect of it. Mist is a perfect booth mate for me, I think.
Yeah, I think from a casting standpoint, Unicorn has come into this league as basically a clone of me. Just really excited about the hype and all the fun we have in the booth. I think, to be honest with you, this is kind of a crazy take, but I think Eddie versus Coin could easily be a blowout either way, which most likely means extra innings.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, after innings on Match of the Week, you know how those babies go. We'll see, though. I mean, it's going to be about if they're scoring and if they're scoring early, right, with those type of players.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What a group we have there for the start of AAA. Two players that, you know, exciting to see Elron coming back in the mix. And then Eduardo, you know, he's very heralded coming into this AAA season. And then at 7 p.m., we have AA making their first ever primetime regular season matchup. We've only ever casted one ever, I believe, AA game. It was the end of one of the AA World Series in seasons past where Ben Mack, 19, I think, was involved. Was that when Ox won? See, we need to cast more AA because this is what it's about. And we've got Too Easy going up against M. Barry. It's going to be me and Mist on the call for you for those big games. Mist, what do you think of this set?
I think this comes down to what we've talked about before, Train. Experience on Match of the Week actually means something. Same with playoffs, of course. And therefore, you know, who opened up last season with the biggest bomb of practically all time? It was M. Barry. So he kind of went away after that, but you know, M. Barry could be dangerous in his return to Match of the Week.
Yeah, very much looking forward to you know the firepower and the potential that we've got there in old Barry. Just an exciting set of games that we have here. Too Easy, you know, coming from the SMNL, I believe, right? Is that correct, Miss?
Yes, I believe so.
You love to see that. You love to see the other players coming over from that league. That's partially, you know, one of the most exciting things about these matchups. We've got a couple players from that league coming over. We're all sort of coming together here on the prime time, on the biggest stage that this game's got to really offer us. And you know, they're going to show their stuff. Too Easy's going to show his stuff. And, you know, will we be talking about M. Barry after those games tomorrow? Are we going to be talking about Too Easy, you know? Because M. Barry's made a name for himself already in those leagues. So it's going to be really exciting to see. Then at XBL, we're capping things off at 9 p.m. in a titanic matchup. It's Ty and Teflon. Ty and Don. I mean, what more do you have to say? That's going to be casted for you by myself and No Hummus. Going to be really exciting.
Yeah, you know, Dwayne, prime time, you know, that's the match to catch, you know. Dynasty and Teflon, two rookies, one true rookie, first time in any league. Dynasty, he's already had some competitive play here throughout the XBL, but now he's up on the big stage here playing opening night. You know, this one, I think it'll probably end up being a split. You know, that's just how these things go. It's, you know, especially when you have two players this close, it can be pretty hard to pull off that a sweep on Match of the Week.
Yeah, it absolutely can be.
I want to add into that a little bit because I'm familiar with Teflon from the SMNL this season and Dynasty. I agree with what y'all said for sure. When it comes to Match of the Week, the jitters are definitely there. It's just a video game, but if you care at all about the league and how you're going to look in front of 30 people that all are going to chat about you in the Discord, it adds some pressure. And for Teflon, he's a really good player, but if Dynasty is anything like he here in the AAA, then you're going to be in for a high-scoring game, and it's going to be palms sweaty. You need to put up 10 runs, and you need to make a good name for yourself on the trip. So good luck to you and good luck to Too Easy, both of y'all being rookies and getting your Match of the Week. I love to see the AA one for sure.
Yeah, speaking, just to quickly touch on AA, I'm sorry. I will be casting that with Ox, not Mist. I don't want to misspeak. I'm very sorry, because Ox is going to be back in the booth tomorrow. We do not want to downplay that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I was just saying.
It's coming back. Let's see it.
I was gonna say, you talk about, those jitters, some people like crumble under the pressure. Some people just come to life, like some people, like it's at the end of the day, it's just a nice big show, You want to show out for everyone who's watching. You want to show people why, you belong in the league,
Yes,
Exactly.
you absolutely do. You want to put on the best show possible so that we can all have the best time possible, and then you can walk away with a couple of wins. That's really the whole idea, right? Because it always feels the best when you walk away with a pair.
Some of the greatest moments here in the XBL, have happened like during our match of the week. We've seen plenty of crazy things, comebacks, amazing like catches, like just so much, that could happen in this 1 hour span. I'm excited for all of these matchups to see what happens.
Yeah, and we all know match of the week wins just hit different.
And speaking of match of the week, and speaking of all these matchups, we're going to go ahead and now reveal to you the rest of the match of the week schedule. Before we depart here, we've got the XBL and the AAA for you on screen. The AA, none of the rest of the matches are scheduled for any hard weeks yet, but we do have everyone's availability. So players that are in reserve, we are going to probably schedule a few more AA matches of the week based off of caster availability here in these sets of weeks that you can see on your screen. So just expect to be in touch. We're going to definitely try to get a few more triple headers going than just the one this season. But as you can see, you got Ty and Teflon Don starting off tomorrow, Ed and Elron starting off tomorrow. Then you've got quite a few matchups there. If your matchup does not work for you, please contact myself or Wishbone, any of the league commissioners, or any of the casters as well. That's me, Unicorn, Hummus, Mystery Man, Ox. We'll all, be able to try and work with you. We'll find replacements. We've moved casts around. We've done weekdays. We do things like that when we have availability as well. So these are the rest of the matchups we have for you. You can expect, if you're in a reserve matchup, probably to get squeezed in there at a certain point, for sure. Anything
just talking
stand
about
out?
I'll just say, talking about these matchups, we just it's always been our plan, when putting together the match of the week. But we always start off, early on. It's usually your heavy hitters. Like look at week 2 of the XPL, Wishbone, Mama Junjun. That's something that I think that's gonna be a series that could very well determine which of these players take what they take in seeds 1 through 4. That's could be crucial. We go towards and then we reach the middle and later half of the season, and that's usually when we start putting together matchups where that could have serious playoff contentions. Like I'm looking at weeks 5 through 7 there. Those could very well adjust seeding position for teams just based on those matchups alone.
I'm looking at the AAA here, and I can't help but be drawn to Heisman versus Ricks. I think we should just run a simulation on that one. I mean, it's basically the same play.
Yeah, it's going to be a really insane matchup. Really tight games probably between those two. You love to be able to circle a matchup like that on your board. You got myself versus Unicorn there in week 4 as well, the week of July 28th. I'm going to make sure I clear my schedule for that one and make sure I drink all my coffee. Anything standing out to you, Mr. Unicorn? But after this, we're going to probably get ready to wrap things up here tonight.
I mean, y'all touched on pretty much all of it. There's such great matchups. Weeks 2 and 3 in the XBL really stand out to me. Like Hummus said, that week 2 matchup could decide who's 1, 2, 3, 4 seed, and that's a huge deal if you don't want to have to face somebody like Lazy or Flash in the semifinals. It could be ginormous to get those early season wins against those top tier talents. So then in the AAA, you've got a lot of really, really good matchups because of the parity. Eduardo and Elron Coin off rip is an incredible matchup, and I think both of those guys are going to be top 5 players. So you love to see the early season matchups having some heat for us. So then when it gets late into the season, the beauty of match of the week can be when you're on match of the week and you've got one set left against the guy you're facing and you're fighting for a playoff spot. That's when it's really palms sweaty, 30 people watching, seeing if your season's going to come to an end or not. So I think these match of the week lineups are great. Hopefully everybody can show up for them, and we can not have to move anything around too much, because the way we have it set up right now, every match of the week is going to be interesting. So it's going to be super exciting, of course.
Yeah, we're all on tenterhooks, ready for the season to start. It's one of the most hyped seasons we've had in a long time. These matches of the week going to be big showings. We hope to see everybody there for these games. And like Ox said in chat, our fellow broadcast partner, reminder not to play your match of the week partner before your match of the week, please. And if you must, and if, like I said, you can't make your match of the week, we'll make accommodations. You just gotta let us know first, and we'll make it work for you 100%. So yeah, that's it for our preview show here tonight. It's been a really awesome just kickoff to the season. It's great to bring us all together here in this space. You know, we have our broadcast crew, Ox included there in chat. Everybody's here. We're ready to rock and roll. It's going to be one of the best seasons we've had in a long time. And yeah, well, you know, Double A is back. I could go on and on all night. We'll go back around one more time. Let's start with some parting messages. We'll go with Mystery Man first.
Yeah, no, we're ready to rock. I think season starts tomorrow. Like Ox said in the chat, don't play your person you're supposed to be matched up on match of the week. But other than that, let's get rocking and rolling. There's a lot of games to be played, so don't be afraid to get out there and play some games this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking for an hour, so we've pretty much touched on everything, but most of all, the league is so awesome. The XBL is great, but what makes it great is when everyone actually shows up and plays their games. So everybody try to, whether you have a rough start or not, I have a huge shout out to Johnny from the AAA last year. We saw he went 2-38, but he played the entire season. And something like that is really worth noting. You might take some lumps in your first year. The XBL's got the greatest talent in the world. Lazy's here. Him and Ashnod might be the two best XBL players of all time, or super mega baseball players of all time. And so you've got a lot of people counting on you to play your games. So if you got to take your lumps, but make sure you keep the league great and everybody show up and play, and let's just have a good time and be competitive.
Very well said. Hummus, anything before we head out?
No, I think those before me, you guys have already said everything that needed to be said. Just get your games in. Just make sure you keep them nice spaced out. Don't try to play too many early on, or don't try cramming them at the end, because it could be pretty hard scheduling towards the end of the season. So if you're able and you're around, get the games in, spread them out, and have fun.
Yeah, spoken from experience, a true veteran right there with some really good advice for you. And remember, indeed, as Wishbone said in chat, games will not be able to be played until matches of the week conclude at the end of the XBL match of the week tomorrow night. So you will not receive a lobby code until we're all wrapped up. So let's get these games hyped up. We'd love to see you all tomorrow night, and we'd love to see games across 10 p.m. tomorrow and then into the next day and into the sunrise. We'll be ready for season 17. So everybody, thank you for being here tonight. If you have any questions, please direct them towards us in the league office and the broadcast crew. We're always here to help you. And yeah, let's just get ready for a great new season. Have a safe and pleasant evening, everyone, and we will see you on the flip side for opening day tomorrow, 3 p.m. We'll be here, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye, everyone.